chosen ones, empaths. The narcissist knows what they are, and they know that others like them are in the world. And you see, the way they look at us as empaths, even if it's not entirely, they look at us as a bit naive, like we can get played for a fool, right? So when the narcissist secured us, captured us, had us in their clutches, their deepest, darkest insecurity was really fearing that someone else like them will come along and take us away. And I know this is fact because the narcissist used to repeat to me, they used to sum it up like, I know how girls are like. I know how girls are like. I know how they'll be around you. I know how they'll be around you, when she was very insecure. But realistically, what I know it is now, she wasn't talking about girls or females. She was talking about twisted creatures like she is, right? That's what she was talking about. She was talking, even if she wasn't an awakened narcissist, but I'm sure now she's an awakened narcissist because she's seen the content on YouTube, this content on YouTube. So I'm sure that she's an awakened narcissist now. But maybe even if at the time she wasn't awakened, she knew her true nature. She knew other people like this existed in the world, who manipulate, who cheat, who lie, who steal, who rob, who are false, who are frauds, right? So their deepest insecurity, realistically, when they're with us, is fearing that someone is going to come along and woo us and take us away from them. And this goes on from the very moment that you're with them throughout the entire course of the relationship and even after. So look, even if you've been separated from the narcissist now for a while, there's still insecurities in their heads, worrying that you're going to get captured by someone who's on their level or worse, right? That's what they fear, because they know how deeply we fell in love from the manipulation. They know how deeply, by someone mirroring us, we fell for it. And they still take us for a fool, right? They're hoping we're still a fool. They don't know we're educating ourselves, we're learning, we're reading books, we're watching videos, we're learning more. They don't realize that we're advancing and ascending and developing, right? They don't really know what we're doing. They don't really know the intricacies that are involved in the healing process. They don't really know because they can't empathize with us. But they're hoping we're still a fool because they're hoping that we're waiting on the shelf for them to just come and collect us back up for their return, right? Because the narcissist always makes a return. They always make an appearance again. Don't worry about that. If you haven't had it yet, it's going to come, right? You're going to hear from them when you least expect it, at a time when they're totally not on your mind, and they're going to pop up. It's like they can almost tell that you're not thinking about them or you're not worried about them, and then they pop up. But what I'm saying is to you is they are deeply troubled with the fact, worrying that someone like them will be able to manipulate us into the same dynamics that we was in before. And they know that if we do get manipulated by someone else and we fall in love deeply with someone else, there's no way back for them, right? And they know how powerful, or not powerful, let me backtrack on that. They know how much impact love bombing can do, right? They know how much impact love bombing can do, manipulation can do, and they are deeply concerned that someone will do this to you. It's obvious. This was going on through the entire course of the relationship. It's why the narcissist involved in my life was very insecure, was very, very, very insecure about any other female. You know, they were very insecure. They were even insecure, like, of stupid stuff. They were just so insecure. It's unreal. And I always used to just try and make them feel better about themselves and tell them, look, you know, I'd never cheat on you. Look, I always used to tell them, look, if I was ever going to cheat, I would actually tell you, like, I'm going to break up, and then I would go off. Like, I'm not going to cheat. I was trying to be as patently, blatantly truthful, even though it sounds like it's hurtful, but I was trying to say, like, I'm not going to cheat. Like, I would try and reinforce that fact that I would never cheat, right? And it was them projecting their own demons at me too. But realistically, they were worried. They're deeply concerned. When you go out into the world and they know you're an empath, and they know you're loving and kind and generous and empathetic and pure and honest and true, they're like, it's so dangerous in the world for us. They can't imagine going around the world being like how we are. But this is where I'll use that word powerful again. Realistically, we're the powerful ones. Being able to walk around the earth, speaking your truth. You know, staying in line, being honest, being kind, being loving, being pure. That's power. That's the real power. Their power, their impact through their manipulation is illusionary. You know, it's flawed. It doesn't really stand for anything. It's got no morals. It's nothing in God's eyes, right? What we're doing is powerful as empaths. It takes a lot to be truthful, you know. There's some things that, you know, it's easier to lie about. It's easier to deceive. But I always find myself being truthful, being honest, right? I try my best to be honest, you know. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I've told lies in the past. But you've got to understand that one of their deepest insecurities was this. And it still is this. Even if you're separated. And I added an additional layer. They're also deeply concerned that you find someone like you. Someone who is loving, someone who is kind, someone who is genuine, someone who is honest, someone who is true. They're also concerned about that. Because they know people like that exist in the world because they met you. And they really don't want that to happen. They really, really don't want that to happen. You know, they really don't want you to bump in to actually find your soulmate. They really, really don't want that to happen because they know it's going to erase all the memories. All these feelings that you feel now where you feel like you can't move on and you feel like you're never going to find someone else again. And all of that's illusionary, right? All of that's illusionary. You will heal. You will move on. These lot are not our last partner. I know some of you, me included, I'm like, do you know what? I don't even want love again, you know? But I will, you know, we can find it and it will erase this past that we've had. If we find someone genuine, that's why I'm taking my time. I'm being very meticulous and very particular about what I actually want, right? And you should too. We need to take it seriously. Involving ourselves in this love game, not a game, but involving ourselves in love, it is very serious business, right? It is very risky business, right? So we can't make no mistakes, you know? We need someone who's on the same wavelength. We need someone who's on the same thought process as us. Someone who we can connect with in our mind, heart, and soul, you know, and intertwine and dwell in tranquility. They really don't want you to find someone like that. That's another insecurity for them as well, you know? Because they pretended to be this person. The whole time they were pretending. And you know how good that felt, right? For the moment when you really believed that this person was your soulmate and they was true and they was honest and they was kind and they was loving, right? It felt good for a moment, didn't it? Let's be honest. I know there was abuse and devaluation, but during the moment, just if you take the fragment of the time when you truly believe this person was nice, honest, true, they're the one for you, it felt good. So imagine replacing that with actually finding that in reality, not someone pretending to be that. It's a game over for them. It's game over for them. So look, their insecurity, they can have it. They can worry that we're going to fall into the clutches of another narcissist. But ultimately, their biggest concern is finding someone true and honest like ourselves. Ultimately, that is their real problem. They really don't want us to find that. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if it keeps them up at night. You know, they don't want us to progress. They don't want us to move forward. They want us to stay stagnant. And I always advise you to take your time before you move on. I always advise that, right? Because it's not staying stagnant. I'm just afraid of you and afraid for me as well. I don't want to rush into something where I'm not ready for something yet. And then I'm still thinking about my ex. I don't think that's going to happen with me now because I've left it such a long time, right? It's going to be new. It's going to feel fresh. It's going to feel good once I find someone on my level, right? But for those of you out there that have just got out of a relationship and you're feeling lonely and you're seeking companionship, just take your time. Just take your time. We've got to be careful in the field of love. We can't give away our love frivolously. We can't give it away to people that don't deserve it. There's no time for that in this life. Full stop. There's no time for that in this life. No more frauds. No more fakes. No more snakes, no more dusty weirdos. We've had enough of that. We had a belly full, literally. We've had enough of that for a lifetime, right? So just know, you know, the narcissist's biggest fear is others like them will take you away. But I did add an additional layer to that. The real biggest fear is us finding someone true and honest and kind and loving and genuine and pure and transparent and someone just like ourselves. So anyway, thank you for watching today. Please press the like and the subscribe button. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can find a link in the description box. And if you'd like a one-to-one session with myself, you can also find a link in the description box. Currently, I've got a secondary channel, a spiritual channel. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.